Hey guys, I'm here to tell you about the 2023 Slam Tour of the Year. This is not just a tagline, this is exactly what this tour package offered. Mendacity, Organectomy, Vomitforth, Devourment, and Ingested. What a lineup. I mean, it gets meatier and meatier as it progresses from band to band. So no accident that they decided to call this the 2023 Slam Tour of the Year, because it's that, just that. And it was a great evening. The doors opened at 7 at the Velvet Underground in Toronto. The first band hit the stage at 7:30, and that was Mendacity. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't know them coming in, and they didn't really leave a lasting impression. I'm just being completely honest. I didn't connect with their sound. I didn't connect with their performance. I feel like they were a good opening band, for half of the crowd in attendance. Is a sold out show, by the way, but by the time they went on stage at 7:30, only perhaps half the house was there. But they were okay enough to get the evening going, grabbing a drink, enjoying the show, kind of really warming you up. Nothing spectacular, nothing to write home about. Not a bad band, just I felt like they were okay, like nothing that really stands out. And I think when you're the opening band on any bill, on any tour, you definitely have to try your best to stand out and become somewhat memorable. That's the only way fans will gravitate towards your music, buy your merch, or even listen to you on Spotify after the show is over. And when your performance and your set in general feels kind of medium, kind of mid, there's not much there to talk about. There's not much there to go on. So I think they have to improve on their live performance. They definitely have to improve in terms of communicating with the audience, being a little bit more interactive, not just going on stage and playing. There's a lot more to being a band, a live band, than just playing. You have to entertain, and I felt like they lacked on that front a little bit. And their sound, like I said, wasn't really my cup of tea. Next comes Organectomy. Now, I've never heard of these guys before. They're from New Zealand. I found out that at the show because they mentioned they were from New Zealand. And these Kiwis definitely brought the pain. I love their sound. I thought it was really well mixed at the table. Allowing the vocals to be powerful, to be noticeable, mixing really well with the overall meaty sound that they have. And this is not a great venue sound-wise, specifically when it comes to vocals. I always feel like it doesn't matter what band it is, it doesn't matter who's mixing at the table, the vocals are always muffled at this specific venue. You almost have to walk around like you're metal detecting, but you're sound detecting, in order to find a perfect spot where you can actually hear the vocals half decent. For these guys tonight, they sounded outstanding, both musically and vocally. So I was taken back by how good they were. Definitely a standout performance, definitely a memorable performance. And from everyone that I spoke with, and everyone that was around me, they were talking about these guys. They were talking about them after their set, they were talking about them after the show. Definitely from all the bands, maybe outside of Ingested, because they're definitely the headliners and the one that people went to see. Outside of Ingested, I think this is the band that impressed people the most, and perhaps because they knew about them the least. So they talk about leaving a lasting impression. They definitely did that. Great band. If you've never heard of them before, go check them out. It's that slammy, that filthy, meaty death metal sound that just makes you want to move back a little bit and just, let me take that all in, and hitting you slow and hard. Just really good live band, really good show. After them came Vomitforth, and I have to say this, I don't know the lead singer of the band, but the dude is like version 2.0 of Corpse Grinder. He's Respect the Neck version 2.0, for sure. Not that he sounds like Corpse Grinder vocally, but he looks like a young Corpse Grinder, and he headbangs as such. Man, some of the most powerful headbanging tonight came from Vomitforth. The whole band, not just him, the whole band. But I was really taken back by how good of a frontman he is, in terms of his interaction with the audience, his singing ability, the way he delivers, the way he brings it all together, a little bit of the glue that holds everything together. Great sound, really well mixed as well. I felt like both Organectomy and Vomitforth had really good mixing. The sound was coming really clear, but the vocals as well. Once again, something that you normally don't get at this venue. So I was really impressed by how well defined both bands were, and how both bands really deliver an incredible performance. Short sets, but really memorable, but great frontman. And I think that's a huge deal when it comes to any band. But when you talk about death metal, slam death metal, when you talk about those specific subgenres and those meaty sounds that these bands have, you definitely need a frontman that stands out, that brings the crowd in and allows the whole experience to be a show within the show. And vomitforth definitely did that. Next came Devourment. I was really looking forward to their set, but I don't know what happened. I think they were having some technical difficulties tonight. That was obvious to me. I don't know exactly what those technical difficulties were, but it was obvious that they were having some issues, and the sound suffered, maybe because of said issues. I felt it was really muffled. The vocals were almost inexistent. Didn't matter where you were, I moved around. I tried different spots in order to see if I could get a little bit better grip on what the vocals could offer. I was at one point right underneath the PA where the main vocals were coming through, and even then they just didn't feel like they were breaking through the sound. They didn't feel powerful enough, specifically when you compare with the two previous bands. So I'm not sure if the technical difficulties that they were having had something to do then, therefore, with the sound and the performance, but I felt very spotty. It was a very spotty performance. It felt like they were really swimming against the tide, and I give them credit for doing their best, but sound-wise, it just didn't sound good. Oh, like I said, I don't know what's causing it or what caused it, but it just didn't sound good. And considering how good the two previous bands were, it really felt like the air came a little bit out of the balloon when it came to Devourment. I was expecting a lot more from them. They sounded nothing like the way they sound on record. But once again, maybe these technical difficulties played a factor in this, but definitely a performance that I'm sure even they would say that they are happy to forget. Not one of their best nights, that is for sure. Last but definitely not least, Ingested from the UK, from Manchester. These guys, I don't care if they're opening for Lorna Shore. I don't care if they're mid-card for Lorna Shore. I don't care if they're a headliner. These guys always bring it, and they always bring 125%, maybe 130%. Whatever percentage you want to throw that's over 100, they bring it. They bring it every single performance, every single night. Tonight was no different. My only beef is I always feel like their set is never long enough. It wasn't long enough when I saw them last year with Lorna Shore. It wasn't long enough today when they're headlining. I honestly feel like I want more. Their music doesn't become stale. It doesn't bore you. You're very engaged with the performance. You're engaged with the music. You're engaged with the tracks. You're engaged with them on stage. They have an incredible presence. All of them have an incredible presence on stage. They're fun guys to watch perform. You can tell they're having a great time, but they also want to make sure you're having a great time. So that sort of dynamic makes the performance stand out, makes you gravitate towards them. And I gotta say, I enjoyed every second of it. I enjoyed every song that they played. They're an incredible live band. I've seen them twice in the span of 6 months, 8 months, and both times that I've seen them, I've been floored by how good they are live, and how much fun they're having. And I think all of those things, when you put them together, it allows you to have memorable performances after memorable performances. Ingested is definitely a live band, a band that delivers everything that they put on record live and then some, with perhaps a little bit more energy, a little bit more emphasis on certain elements. Vocally, they were solid. Another band that was really well mixed, really well put together. I didn't feel any drop in quality, sound-wise or vocally. It was coming across really clear, and that also adds to the experience, and it adds to the enjoyment of seeing them live. I'll go see these guys any day of the week that they come to Toronto, because I just feel like they give you more than your money's worth. It's not just about going through the set list. It's not just about singing a couple of songs. It's really about creating a fun experience so that makes you want to go out and see them. They really work hard for your money. No fucking pun intended here. But great live band, Ingested, headlining this tour, a tour that was super successful for them. merch-wise and ticket-wise. Sold out shows, sold out in Toronto, sold out Montreal, sold out Boston. Almost every single show in the last week of the tour was sold out. So great for them doing this incredible headlining tour and putting together this Slam Tour of the Year with bands that are very similar, once again, very similar to one another, but still offering uniquenesses between them that allows you to see some ebbs and flows from track to track, but also from band to band. So incredible job by Ingested. Looking forward to a triumphant return to North America. I don't know when that's going to happen, considering that they've played 2 tours now. Feels like back-to-back, even though it wasn't back-to-back. But it feels like that. So I don't know when we'll see them next. But whenever that is, I'll be there. Great live band. If you guys missed this 2023 Slam Tour of the Year, then that's on you. Because this is one that you shouldn't have missed. Because all bands, like I said, brought a very meaty sound and a very meaty set to the table. Alright guys, I'll see you all in our next video.